Now I want to request you something very important, which is your response. At least during all these days and the texts which we are going through, you have to find a shloka, at least one, which really touches you and with which you can meditate or you can repeat it, and with which you can carry home as your practice and inspiration. So there's, at least in the last session, we will share those shlokas, and you will also say why you have chosen a particular verse, what it has given to you. So this is so don't just let it go over you, it has to sink in. And somewhere you have to be to find what is your own shloka. Now today we are, after a rather lengthy introduction, but I think it was necessary. Today we come to a short stotra, which is, according to my guru, is one of the central stotras. And he has advised us to recite it every day before meditation, or at least occasionally. And that is 7. If you have the book, you go to Stotra 7. Actually, I told you in the introduction that this classification in stotras has been made by Utpaladeva's disciples, and then one disciple, Vishvavarta, has given them titles. And I have the privilege to translate these titles, which I enjoyed very much, in this book. So 7, the title is Vidura Vijaya Stotra. Here's Vijaya. See, we have been starting with Viyoga, and then you need yoga to overcome that separation, that alienation. Here's Vidura is also separation, overcoming separation. And in the practical experience, duality is manifest in separation. That is the experience of Advaita. It's not just the philosophical concept. And how this is the stotra which helps you to overcome this separation. Now we listen first to Manju Sundaram's recitation. Tora.
Vayananda Saraswati समरसतामित्यनाथ मम चेतः परिहरतु सकृदीयतं भेदाधीनं महानर्थम् एतन्मम न त्विदमिति रागद्वेषादिनिगडदृढमूले नाथ भवन्मयतैक्य प्रत्ययपरशुः पतत्वन्तः गलतु विकल्प कलङ्कावली समुल्लसतु हृदि निरर्गलता भगवन् आनन्दरसप्लुतास्तु मे चिन्मयी मूर्तिः रागादिमय भवाण्डकलुठितं त्वद्भक्तिभावनाम्बिका तैस्तैः आप्याययतु रसैर्मां प्रवृद्धपक्षो यथा भवामि खगः त्वच्चरणभावनामृत रससारास्वाद नैपुणं लभतां चेत्तमिदं निःशेषितविषयविषासङ्गवासनावधिमे त्वद्भक्तितपनदीधिति संस्पर्शवशान् ममैष दूरतरं चेतो मणिर्विमुञ्चतु रागादिकतप्तवह्निकणात् तस्मिन् पदे भवन्तं सततमुपश्लोकयेयमत्युच्चैः हरिहर्यश्व विरिञ्चा अपि यत्र बहिः प्रतीक्षन्ते भक्तिमदजनित विभ्रमवशेन पश्येयमविकलं करणैः शिवमयमखिलं लोकं क्रियाश्च पूजामयी सकलाः मामकमनोगृहीत त्वद्भक्ति कुलाङ्गनानि मादिसुतान् सुत्वा सुबद्धमूला ममेति बुद्धिं दृढीकुरुताम्।
Here I have my own translation, both in German I have translated a lot. It will eventually become a book. But you will get a copy of these 4 verses. And here, in these 4 verses, of course it is longer, we will go very much into the details the words and the subtle meaning. So in my translation, you can also look at Bailey. O my Lord, my mind having found harmony in your sea of bliss, may all this uselessness based on duality be removed. So it's an overcoming of duality, overcoming of separation. See, and this happens by a state of harmony. Now, harmony is a translation of samarasata. Now, samarasya, I should have written it here. Samarasya or samarasata is the equality or unity of essence, rasa. Rasa has this layers of meanings, as we have seen yesterday. From the physical, it is a juice, and then the essence, then the aesthetic experience, and then also the mystical or spiritual essence. And samarasata means the unity, the merging together of these essences, and the ultimate two essences which are merging are Shiva and Shakti. Samarasata, samarasya, is ultimately the union of Shiva and Shakti. But it is experienced at different levels. And it is my mind, Cheta, let it emerge in the sea of bliss. Saraswati here, it can mean river or any water, merging in that lake of ananda, of bliss. Attaining a state of samarasata, of total harmony, integration, union of the essence in our own experience, and then ultimately the union of Shiva and Shakti. And then, but there's a prayer. He already experiences that bliss, but he prays, Pariharatu sakrityantam pedatina mahanartam. Parihara means remove completely. Remove completely and at once, sakrit. He always wants, when he is in a higher state of consciousness, he always wants things to be happening immediately. Like we have sometimes in the Vijnana Bhairava also, it should be at once. And this is, of course, that at once is a characteristic of the higher upaya, Shambhava, and still higher Anupaya. But Anupaya, I will speak about it when we come to Shloka, to chapter 1. So this suddenly or at once, instead of, going step by step and kamasha, and, it should happen immediately. That is his wish. But what should this Peda Dina Mahanartha say? That overcoming duality means whatever is based on separation. Everything that is based on separation, Bheda, should be overcome. And that Bheda, what is based on Bheda, on separation, is, and I love this word, Maha Anartha, the great uselessness. I have translated, but it can be also literally said, nonsense, the great nonsense. We are living with so much of nonsense. Anartha, artha is meaning, and also the thing. And anartha is, we spend half of our life with useless things. and useless because they are based on duality. Vedatina. Whatever is based on duality, it leads to more duality, to more separation. And the way to overcome this duality, this separation, this uselessness, is just to dive into that ocean of bliss of the divine. So it is not, there are no stages here. It is at once, and that merging in that ocean of bliss and in that harmony of not dualities, harmony of essences. And then it expresses it in a prayer, Pariharatu. Let it be completely removed, this useless, everything which is based on duality is Maha Anartha, a great nonsense, great uselessness. It has no meaning, it has no value. So those are German language. You can see my German translation. So this stotra starts already at a very high level. It starts at the level already of being merged in that blissful lake or ocean of the divine, Tvai Ananda Saraswati, and entering that state of harmony. And he prays that his mind, Cheta, we have so many words for mind in Sanskrit which have different implications, Chitta, Manas, and so on. But here it is Chetas. Chetas is already the higher level, it's more close to Buddhi than Manas. Manas is still at the level of the Indriyas. So my mind here, well, in English we have a little choice of words, but in Sanskrit you have so many subtle differences in the implications. My mind means my spirit, you can also say. My spirit, something more higher than mind. So it starts this stotra with a very high level, and still, even when you have already experienced that great bliss being, even then you still pray that just please remove all this nonsense. There's so much of disturbing nonsense which is based on duality. So this is the direct way to overcome duality. Now the second verse. Etam mama natvidamiti ragadveshadi nigadadrita mule nata bhavanmaya taikya pratyaya parashuhu patatvantaha. So the whole stotra is aimed at overcoming separation, overcoming duality. And so one of the dualities in our psychological setup is that possession and aversion, or attraction and aversion. So this is mine, so the attachment, and this is not mine, aversion. And my translation, this is mine, this is not mine. May these feelings of attachment and aversion be cut down at their root with the axe of insight into your oneness. This is very powerful. See, we are so much conditioned by our likes and dislikes and attachment and aversion. And these feelings This is another. This is an emotional duality, and that how to overcome that emotional duality. By cutting down at the root. You cannot go to a psychologist and he will tell you you have to avoid this and that, and then you somehow balance. But here you have to cut it at the root. And what is the root? It's not a superficial pacification or harmonization. And the root of this duality, emotional duality, is their root can be overcome by Pavanmayata Aikya Pratyaya Parashu, by the acts which consists of the knowledge of all, or the realization of your oneness. It's only when you realize the oneness, that Aikya, the unity, the oneness, and that is that acts by which you can cut the duality of your emotional opposites also. So here it is pratyaya, means also, we can also look at the insight into your oneness. And that, so it is an intuitive insight into the divine oneness, divine unity, which can cut at the root of all our dualities, all our emotional or conceptual or social and all domains. These dualities have to be, if you know that divine is one, and of course we are one with the divine. Aikya. So I should not avoid the commentary. Sometimes Shimaraja has very beautiful system. September. Yes. Yeah, he defines attachment by this is the cause of happiness, and aversion as the cause of suffering, dukkha, dukkha hetu. Iti eva bheda avayagraha rupam ragadveshadi atmano nigadasya bandhanasya dridhe. With a firm, this sharp axe. The sharp axe is the axe of the oneness of the divine, the oneness of reality. So here, Advaita is ultimately, it is one. Advaita is a negative way of saying it is oneness. Katita. Mathe Pavanmayata Aikya Pratyaya. Here we will come to Madhya in the next retreat. Yeah, and he explains Paramayat Aikya Pratyaya Parashu as the Chit Aikya Pratyiti, the insight in the unity of consciousness. This very Chit Aikya Pratyiti, the insight and the unity of consciousness. And that is like a sharp axe which can cut all these dualistic feelings and attitudes, which are the cause of joy and suffering, sukha, dukkha. They are all based on this dualism. Now, 3. We can also look at Bailey, but I think you can look yourself if you have Bailey. I was not so happy with her translation. Yeah, and Swamiji, on the first already, he says, I would like my mind to dive in that lake of God consciousness and then discard altogether its habit of perceiving in duality, the differentiated perception. And this is the purpose of this stotra, these first shlokas. The habit of perceiving in duality. And it's a very difficult habit to overcome. That's why without having that insight, or with both the knowledge and the bliss, that ananda, and in that bliss we will find many verses that it just merges, it gets lost, that duality gets lost. And at the level of the intellect and that insight into this oneness, and the oneness of consciousness. Now verse 3 is, I find, one of the most important in the whole Stotrāvalī, but this is very subjective. You may find something else. But whenever I am living with this text for the last 20 years, still I find something new. And I have not discovered this, so it is full of surprises. Now, verse 3, Galatu vikalpa kalanka vale, samulasatu hridi niragalata, Bhagavan ananda rasa plutastu me chenmaye murti. This is very powerful. Dissolving the chain of disturbing thoughts, may unbounded freedom flash forth in my heart. O Lord, let this embodiment of consciousness be completely flooded with the nectar of bliss. Galatu, that's the same word in Hindi at least, galna. Let it dissolve. Dissolve what? Vikalpa kalankavali. Kalanka means stain. Whatever, we may be very advanced in meditation, and still these vikalpas don't always leave you. And just not only vikalpa, but just a whole row of disturbing thoughts. You will be surprised, I have been meditating for so many years, and why still this row of disturbing thoughts is coming up from somewhere. So let it dissolve. Let it be dissolved. And samullasatu hridi niragalata. And may in my heart blossom. I have here 2 versions of translation. Nirargala. Argala means if you lock a door, it's the door lock, it is tightly locked. Nirargala means unlatched, open, and free. So it's a beautiful expression they use often for getting liberated from this, being closed in with a lock. But niragala is that freedom. Samullasa too. Ullasa is a kind of joyful rising, flashing forth in the heart. O Lord Bhagavan, Ananda Rasa Plutastu, being drowned, being merged in that essence of your bliss. Ananda Rasa Pluta. So the two verbs, Galatu and Pluta, they have the implication just of merging, dissolving. And this is what he says at the end, Utpaladeva, of the easy way. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to do all these difficult asanas and difficult studying the philosophy and whatnot. You just let it dissolve. But it has to be dissolved in that blissful essence of the divine. So it's ecstasy, of course. It is ecstasy. And see, if all this happens, may Chinmay Murti, my image of consciousness, may it be manifest. Now, who is this? Is my own consciousness, but it is also a divine consciousness. So my other second translation may be, O Lord, may the endless row of disturbing thoughts be dissolved, may boundless freedom flash forth in my heart. When I am merged in a flood of bliss, may my spiritual being emerge. Here I have translated Chinmay Murti as my spiritual being, my spiritual nature. And now here Swamiji has it. Let us see what Chemaraja. He says that these thoughts, which are, because they are based on separation, based on Bheda, based on duality, they are staining. The very duality is a stain, is an impurity. So even if you have good thoughts, but they may be still disturbing your meditation. Niragala, Nishankata, Svatantriyam. The freedom, absolute freedom. Mama Chinmay Murti, Brahmadrita. Yes, my pure subjectivity. Brahmadrita, see, there's actually only one subject, and that is the divine subject. Pramata. Ananda Rasapluta, Samavesha Ananda Uchalita. Merging in that essence of bliss means that Pluta means Samavesha. Samavesha means absorption, complete absorption. So often that image of diving or or being merged in is used for Samavesha. Now I have to look at Swamiji. I'm just reading his commentary. O Lord, let the chain of this darkness of differentiated perceptions get destroyed altogether. Let unbounded universal freedom rise in my heart always. O my Lord, let this individuality of mind be soaked in the nectar of the bliss of God consciousness. He liked that word, soaked. Three things he wants here. First, the black darkness of differentiated perception should be washed out. Next, freedom from all sides should bloom in his heart. Thirdly, his individuality of self should be soaked in universal God consciousness. And all these three things must happen simultaneously. This is again, simultaneously. It's not first stage and then the second step and the third step. Simultaneously, and not in a successive manner. And this is also, it sounds very universal. The freedom in the heart also implies aligning one's will with the will of God. Everything I'm doing is the will of God. Whatever happens is divine. So the simultaneity of these three moments. Of course, the moment the dualistic thoughts vanish, you're already merging in that divine bliss. But that is the condition, the only thing which disturbs, which obscures. Now, verse 4. And here, see, Utpaladeva, when he is in a state of ecstasy, he does not care about the rules of Sanskrit meter. So he goes out, his meter is just blown up, and so in the next verse there is, he shows his freedom from metrical rules. Ragadi maya bhavandaka lutitam tvat bhakti bhavanam bikata istai apyayayatu rasaimam pravrita bhaksho yatha bhava vikaga. It's a very powerful simile or metaphor for freedom. See, this world, bhava under. See, we know that in cosmology, the universe is also called Brahmanda. It's the egg of Brahma. And it's very interesting. I think in science also there's something that is not, it is elliptical. So it has an egg shape. But here that egg, that is just means the cosmos, whole cosmos. But here, the image of the egg is, we are bound inside the egg of the worldly existence. It is like an egg, and then inside, there's no formation. It is all, how do you call that? What is the substance inside the egg? It is not yet manifest. And this egg of this universal, this worldly egg, consists of all these dualistic feelings. Raga, adi, attachment, hatred, this and that. So all these dualistic feelings, they are in that whole egg, and they are, and lutita. Lutita means tossing, like we are bound inside this egg of the world with all its negative emotions and negative experiences. So how to get out of this egg? So it's the image of the bird, of course. What Bhakti Bhavanambika. Now I have translated. Yes, I toss within the egg of the world, full of attachment, hatred, etc. May the mother contemplative love. I've translated Bhakti Bhavana Ambika. Ambika is the mother, and Bhakti Bhavana, the mother consisting of devotion, of love, Bhakti Bhavana, of that. We had Bhavana a lot in Vigana Bhairava, contemplation. And that mother, because like the mother bird also hatches and gives warmth to so that the egg can mature and the bird can come out. So in that warmth of the mother bird is that Bhakti Bhavana, is that contemplative love, I have translated. Apyayatu rasaimam, may it nourish, may she, that mother, nourish with her essence, with a sweet essence, so that pravita bhaksho yatha bhavani kaga, so that this bird inside the egg can develop and come out of that bondage of that worldly egg and fly out with powerful wings, So the condition for hatching that egg is the warmth of the mother consisting in contemplative love, Bhakti Bhavana. It's all very much, this metaphor, very much connected, starting from the condition of bondage in the worldly. There's a word for what is the substance inside the egg. Don't know. Huh?
Yolk. Yellow yolk.
Yeah, that's what she said. No, she doesn't say. Yeah, it's so the condition for breaking out into that freedom, like a bird coming out of the egg, is this love, Bhakti Bhavana. So Bhakti as a contemplation. So here we have this great importance of Bhakti, which makes you coming into freedom from that being bound in that egg, worldly egg. I want a mother bird to help me out of this egg, and that mother bird is your devotion, O Lord. Your devotion is the mother bird that will make me shine and solve my problem. Actually, these 4 verses have been prescribed by Swamiji for us to recite, meditate upon daily or as much as we can. So then the rest of the stotra goes in a little different, because it's not completely consistent. but still we can take something more. That it's not my translation, but with help of Billy. We have heard the whole recitation. And there is that important phrase which comes also from the Swachanda Tantra, which we often quote, but we don't know from where it comes. Shiva Mayam Akilam Lokam, as in verse 8. Shiva Mayam Akilam Lokam. The whole world is Shiva, consisting of Shiva only. So here it is in verse 8. Shiva Mayam Akilam Lokam. I found it the earlier reference in Swachanda Tantra. This whole universe is nothing but Shiva. So we may take one more verse. Vacharana bhavanamrita rasasara svada naipunam lapatam chittamidam nisheshita vishaya vishasangavasana vati me. Swamiji says, there's another problem in me. My mind does not know how to taste the nectar of remembering your lotus feet. Now, you should not be bored by getting again and again the image of the lotus feet. See, first of all, the mystical experience needs some language. And that language is taken, actually here it's also taken, the lived religion. See, you have a loving relationship to your guru and you want to worship his feet and you touch his feet and so on. It's not the guru, it is always the divine. And so the lotus feet coming again and again and again. And at some point, Kshemaraja says, why there are 2 feet? He said, no, there are 2 energies, 2 Shaktis, Jnana and Kriya Shakti. So it's not a duality, they're just the 2 energies. But this image will come again and again and expresses a great devotional feeling, of course, which people have in India, definitely. And also you go to a temple and you touch the feet. If you cannot touch the murti, but you can touch the paduka. So this is a very important image. Acquiring the skill to taste the sweet nectar derived from worshipping your feet, may these longings of my mind for the poison of sense objects be destroyed in their entirety. See, here he comes, that is why normally I would like to stop at verse 4. He comes to another level of the mystic, because actually the sense objects and the senses play a very important role in this whole text. And one can, now we are taking it stotra by stotra, but one can also take it, I have done it sometimes, subject-wise. If you take the subject of the senses and sense organs, sense objects, that is a big topic which is not negative. And that's why I've said yesterday, this text is also the basis of aesthetics. And for aesthetics, the senses are very important. So the positive value of the senses and sense objects, and this is a whole big topic. But at some point, at some stage of the spiritual life, you have to also overcome the sense experience. And at the higher level, the sense experience becomes. We will see that in Stotra 13. The senses are also divine, of course, they are also divine energies, Shaktis. But as I said, Utpaladeva is not a Tantrika, but he is an aesthete. See, without the senses, you cannot, if you say Shivamayam idam lokam, this whole world is nothing but Shiva. So that means you must have the senses to enjoy it and to perceive it at that level of the divine manifestation. So I think we stop here, and I am happy to mainly to focus on these 4 verses, and you will get the translation at some point, both English and German, for those who want. And the next session we will start with Stotra 5. Should we play again the Manju to conclude it? 7. You can stop at verse 4.
त्वय्यानन्द सरस्वती समरसतामेत्यनाथ मम चेतः परिहरतु सकृदीयतं भेदाधीनं महानर्थम् एतन्मम न त्विदमिति रागद्वेषादिनिगडदृढमूले नाथ भवन्मयतैक्य प्रत्ययपरशुः पतत्वन्तः कलतु विकल्प कलङ्कावली समुल्लसतु हृदि निरर्गलता भगवन् आनन्दरसप्लुतास्तु मे चिन्मयी मूर्तिः रागादिमय भवाण्डकलुठितं त्वद्भक्तिभावनाम्बिका तैस्तैः आप्याययतु रसैर्मां प्रवृद्धपक्षो यथा भवामि खगः